Paige Bueckers went #1 overall for the WNBA draft and is headed to the Dallas Wings. However, she is going to make more money from a 10-week season with Unrivaled than she will for the entirety of her 4-season rookie contract. We already had a pretty good indication that Paige would be set to play for Unrivaled this year. If you're new to the world of women's basketball or you didn't follow Unrivaled in their first season, Unrivaled is a 3-on-3 women's basketball league that was founded by 2 players from the WNBA. The league was incredibly well-funded, featured a number of players from the WNBA, and all 10 weeks of games took place in Miami. Not only did we see this past year the players' average salary exceed the highest maximum salary in the WNBA, but we also saw even more opportunities for these players to make money on top of their salary. There was a one-on-one in-season tournament that we saw, as well as a number of sponsorship deals and a lot of high-profile raising for some of the players that weren't getting the same attention in the WNBA. And Paige actually already had an NIL deal with Unrivaled last season, but because she was still playing in college, she was not playing in the league. Right before the WNBA draft, it was announced that Paige had signed a 3-season deal with Unrivaled, and that her first-year salary will exceed what she'll make for the entirety of her rookie contract with the WNBA. And I think there are a number of important things to understand about the state of women's basketball and the pay gap. And you can argue however much you want in any direction that you want about how long it will take for the WNBA to catch up to the popularity that they're feeling now. But one thing that I do think is very clear is that Unrivaled is doing what they set out to do, which is to force the league to be a little bit more competitive. We saw a number of players in the NCAA take an extra year of college eligibility rather than declare for the draft this year. And many of them pointed to the fact that they have more monetary opportunity in college than they would going pro with the current CBA. And I think Unrivaled, with headlines like this, is at least putting the WNBA under pressure that they wouldn't be otherwise. The WNBA has to look at it from 2 sides. The fact that players perceive themselves to have a better opportunity in college than they do going pro, and that pro players in their offseason are making more money and being treated at a higher level with sponsorships and other things than they are in the league itself. Without the pressure on both sides, I don't think the WNBA would be forced to change anything. And so it will be interesting to see how these CBA negotiations go and what the salaries start to look like next year. Because we already actually saw one of the sponsors that came from Unrivaled enter into a major partnership with the Valkyries for the WNBA, and that is Sephora. And so I think all of these things are good for women's basketball. The WNBA is still a very important league, but the NCAA becoming more and more lucrative, and leagues like Unrivaled showing how much money you can make from women's basketball, put pressure on the league from both sides to develop as fast as possible. So what do you think about Unrivaled? Are you excited to see Paige continue playing basketball after the WNBA season is over? Did you enjoy watching it this season and keeping up with women's basketball for a longer period of time? And are you excited to continue seeing brands like Sephora make these big waves in women's basketball sponsorships?